Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking rutabagas. Now this is another 101 Vegetables 101 video in my series by request, and I'm very glad to do this. Now I have a lot of information. I will be using some notes along the way, but I don't want you to stress over trying to copy things down and be writing and stopping the video and all that. My notes are in the description box below. So all you need to do is copy them and print them out for your own use, however you need them for your reference. So you don't need to worry about stressing about writing things down as I'm talking, because this information is made available to you very easily. Just listen along the way, think about any questions that you might have, things that I need to address a little bit closer to help you out. Put those questions in the comment section below and let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out if I can. Okay, so now information about rutabagas. They are only called rutabagas here in the United States. They're actually called swedes in other countries all around the world. S-W-E-D-E, swedes around the world. They're believed to have been originated in Bohemia in the 1600s as a cross between a cabbage and a turnip, and it kind of does look like a turnip. I've got one right here. And in Sweden, these are often used in place of potatoes, so that gives you a hint as to how you can possibly use them. Okay, they have a nutty and sweet, mild turnip-like flavor with a little bit of bitterness in there. Now we have some ways of getting the bitterness out flavor-wise, but anyway, that does let you know that a little bit about the flavor. Nutrition tidbits. Well, since they're a cross between a turnip and a cabbage, they are considered to be members of the Brassica family, which is also the cabbage family. So because of that, we know that they're high in antioxidants and anti-cancer agents. So these are valuable foods to include in our diets because of those properties alone. But they're also high in vitamin C and a good source of iron. Now the pair, those two, vitamin C and iron, is very important because the vitamin C helps us to absorb the iron into our system. So by pairing those together in this one vegetable, we have a bonus, okay? They're also rich in beta-carotene, which is a precursor to vitamin A. They're high in potassium, manganese, magnesium, calcium, and other nutrients as well. And the nutrients are a good combination because they help us to form collagen, which is like a glue that helps to hold our tissues together. Very important stuff. And also helps us to form our thyroid hormones, which we cannot do without. They encourage wounds to heal, boost the immune system, and promote healthy bones, teeth, gums, and blood vessels as well. So there is a lot of good to be had in eating rutabagas. Furthermore, they're low in calories. One medium, which I would consider this to be about a medium one, has about 145 calories in the whole thing. So hey, we can go nuts eating rutabaga. How to select them? Look for ones that have a purple tinged skin. Now if you take a good look at this, on the bottom end there is some purple tinge to it. It's a little hard to tell that it's actually purple because this thing is heavily coated in wax to preserve it as it makes its way through our food supply chain. But that is a purplish tint on the bottom there. When choosing them, we want to avoid ones that are bruised or blemished or that have shoots growing out of them, because that's going to tell you it's definitely past its prime and starting to regrow. That's not going to be a desirable one to choose. And the smaller ones tend to be more tender and flavorful. Now, how are rutabagas typically eaten? Raw or cooked? They can be eaten raw as a snack, grated into salads or slaws, but they are usually eaten cooked. Okay, cooking helps to release a sweet yet savory flavor in them, so they can be eaten either way. I would definitely peel them, especially because the ones that are provided to us have a wax coating. The wax may be edible, but I wouldn't eat it. How are they available? Fresh versus frozen versus canned. Well, the only way I have ever seen rutabagas available was in the fresh form. I have never seen them frozen. I have never seen them canned. If you have, let me know in the comments section below. But to my knowledge, they're only available fresh. Now, preparation and cooking methods. You want to wash it first to remove any dirt. Slice it in half, cutting through the center, and then you can lay that half on the side and then slice down through that. And then with a paring knife, easily peel off the peel that is on there. And you could, if you've got it this way, cut in half, laying on a cutting board, you would discard either end there because they're coated in wax, and then of course you've got the root end down there. So you would discard both ends and peel off the outer area as well. And then use it, cut it into cubes, use it any way you want, but typically we would cut it into cubes. In my notes here, I have instructions on how to boil it. It's typically boiled with a little sweetener added. Now that's an interesting point to me. It can be stir-fried. You can bake them with a little bit of liquid of your choice, water, broth, wine, whatever you want to bake them with, you can do that. And you can mash them. Since these things are typically eaten with potatoes, especially in Sweden, they're often blended in with mashed potatoes and flavored with some butter, nutmeg, or cinnamon. Now that's interesting because that would help to bring out the sweetness in them as well. Let's see, and rutabagas are also typically eaten in a mixture of, again, with potatoes, but also onions and carrots, butter and salt. So we have some various ways that they are typically eaten, okay? How to preserve it. Rutabagas can be kept for months in a cool, slightly humid condition. What does that tell you? A cool basement. They can keep for quite a bit of time in a cool basement. They can also be stored unwashed in the crisper drawer in your refrigerator for up to a couple weeks. Once you cook the rutabaga, you can freeze it. So if you cook it and you find that, oh, I've got too much of this on my hand, I can't eat all this at once, put it in a freezer container, put it in the freezer, store it until you want to heat it up and enjoy it again. What herbs and spices go well with rutabaga? Rosemary, garlic, paprika, nutmeg and cinnamon that we've mentioned before, olive oil, molasses, that would be a typical sweetener that you might use with it, black pepper, mustard, and brown sugar, okay? Now what other foods might go well with them? Dairy, being milk, butter we've talked about, cream cheese, and even Parmesan cheese. So these are interesting taste options that you can add with it. What other produce goes well with it? Apples and pears, that would bring out the sweetness. Carrots, we've already mentioned. Parsnips, onions, potatoes, and sweet potatoes as well. On the savory side, they'll go well with eggs, beef, poultry, pork, and lamb. So you can use these as a side dish with all sorts of meals, okay? So there's a lot that we can do with it. Now, as with my other 101 videos, I also have links at the bottom of my notes for websites that have some interesting sounding recipes in it as well. And I have these also. And some of the recipes that are linked in there would be pan roasted rutabagas, Hasselback rutabagas, mashed rutabagas with carrots. Here's an interesting one. Rutabaga sweet potato apple soup. That's interesting. And roasted rutabaga with maple syrup and thyme. I also have instructions down at the bottom on how to make rutabaga oven fries, some suggestions on how to eat them raw, and also how to roast your rutabaga. So again, I've tried to supply as much information as I can to get you started and hopefully interested in trying this interesting root vegetable that has a lot of healthful properties to it. Any vegetable that's in the cabbage family is a good thing to include in your meals as you can, because there's just a lot of good healthful benefits to them as well. So let me know if you have questions beyond this. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.